Answer the Call. Brought to you by the National Academy of Engineering. Learn more at nae.edu.
Stop touching that snooze button and get ready to clock in with the best morning show on the planet.
It's okay when we're singing, we're dancing, we're playing on the field, making everybody else laugh, making everybody else millions of dollars. But as soon as we have a voice, we're punished for it.
Giving you an informative dialogue with a side of fun and laughter while cutting through the noise and bringing you the real stories behind the headlines.
Look, it takes 5 minutes. Notice I'm not getting into details about what goes on in Switzerland, but those that know, you know what I'm talking about.
Get a little. And then
Do it again. Do it again.
A little.
That's it.
You know what it is, Truth Nation. It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
My point is, if you're 40 or if you're still trying to push for something, it doesn't mean that it's over just because it's been delayed. Delayed doesn't mean denied.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, this is Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming on YouTube.
You gotta love black folks. We gonna make a way out. What you mean, man? All you gotta do is get
I got to put a little all in it.
Go get the Robitussin so we can get this car fixed.
Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach, Denise Thomas, and two-time Emmy Award winner, Telly Hughes.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I was like, you wouldn't go. Telly and I were having some banter here. Good morning. It is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. It is Friday Eve, or as you say, Telly, good morning. It is what?
Friday Junior.
I don't know it's not a competition, but I don't know which one I like better. I like Friday Junior.
I like both.
I do
because
too.
It's one closer date to Friday.
Oh, goodness.
Friday Eve, Friday Junior. I like both of them.
I just don't like those Fridays where you don't get paid.
Yeah, man.
Because it'd be
Those
like,
are rough.
What are you doing this weekend? Not a damn thing. It's Friday. It's Broke Friday.
But boy, those Fridays you get paid.
Oh, you walk different.
Oh man, you just got paid Friday night.
I'm on top of the world. And then the Williams.
Right.
My son said, Mom, first of all, I don't understand who is this FICO person. I was like, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yes. Ooh.
And even when I do get paid, it's like, I saw a meme where it's like, direct deposit hits bank account, 9 a.m. By 10:15, I got 2 more weeks to go.
I'm telling you, man, you feel like you rich for about 2 hours.
Go hang out with your direct deposit. Let's go. Let's just go hang out with our direct deposit.
You see this? I'm about to do it. 2 hours later. Hey,
man, I thought we was going to hang out tonight. I thought so, too.
Yeah, man, I got to figure something out.
Them Williams ain't no joke. Them Williams are no joke. Bills, that's child's play. That's like in your 20s and 30s.
Man, you hate having to just figure something out. And, boy, it's just those we call them bye weeks.
Man, what was that? We had a caller the other day said, when Trump was in office, there were no bills. I said, almost said a bad word. The lies you tell. What day?
You a lie.
Just give me one day under the Trump administration where we didn't have a bill. I'll wait.
What? Yeah, you a liar. The truth ain't in you. Because I don't remember those days.
Joe Jackson, you a liar and you a cheat, and I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want no bills, and I don't want you.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. I mean, maybe that was a time that I was asleep or
Telly, don't even entertain that. And doggone well, there wasn't no day. I mean, now it's to the point where
and it ain't gonna happen again.
Yeah,
either,
when Trump was in office, you could go in your backyard and there were gold clovers and yellow moons and Lucky Charms. Man, okay. Anywho, so Telly, you and I and Ricky, and good morning, Ricky. How are you?
Good morning. I got some sleep last night.
Good. I sure did.
I was here at like 5:30.
I know. I ain't gonna lie. I walked in. I was like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. When I get sleep, I come to work early.
I love it. Now, I'm gonna put out a disclaimer, okay? Because this is Milwaukee Black Talk Radio. And for some reason, there is this assumption that this station is just pro Kamala and against or anti-Trump. I can't speak for the other talk show hosts on this station. With that being said, Telly, we're going to have to just, because you and I have been very adamant about, as much as we can, being neutral. We definitely don't tell people how to vote. We just encourage people to vote. And by the way, we are still in early voting in the state of Wisconsin. We're going to get into that. However, we are going to have to dissect Madam Vice President. Excuse me. We're going to have to dissect Madam Vice President's town hall yesterday.
No problem doing it.
Okay.
Because that does show, again, not just we're just talking it, we're actually demonstrating it. Because if Trump does something, yes, we do get on him. And Kamala had a situation last night where she struggled, and we're going to dive into it. Because, again, it should be a fair and equal platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for saying that, because, let me be clear. Because I know that as a country, we are obviously holding Madam Vice President to a completely different standard than we are former President Donald Trump. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. Like, if you just compare how we are holding her accountable for certain things that the vast majority are not holding President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, to, that's a fair statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the reality is that before we kind of dissect this town hall meeting that was on CNN yesterday. And by the way, CNN, they said they extended an invitation to former President Donald Trump to attend the town hall meeting with Madam Vice President yesterday that was held in Pennsylvania. She is tired. She is physically and mentally exhausted. Yeah. And I need somebody, anybody, on her team to do this, Telly. Just let's
go take a nap.
Let's just take a day.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I know there's so much pressure because we're in the, for lack of better terms, ninth inning
yes.
of the campaigning for a presidential office. However, she needs to rest.
I mean, but just finding time to do that, and
you got to make
just
time.
Finding a way to, exactly, if it's on Air Force 2 or if it's pushing some things back. Because here's the thing: you can't do everything, and no one is going to expect you to do everything, and so. You're never going to meet everybody else's expectations. So a lot of these different interviews that she's doing, because if you recall, at first, she wasn't doing any interviews, and people were talking about that. Mm-hmm. They were like, well, she never does any one-on-ones. And then once she did that first one, it seemed like she hadn't stopped. And so, I mean, you don't have to try to get on the Breakfast Club or the Joe Rogan podcast because, you know, that's what you see your opponent doing. Mm-hmm. If it's at the expense of you getting rest and doing things more strategically, you know, continue to run your own race and not look at what your opponent is doing. And then because clearly he has been able to sustain. I mean, and again, the same rules don't apply for each candidate.
There's been times
he's been dozing off and no one has said a word. And so, and you know, you got to find a way to finish the race because you started off on fire and the DNC was great. And now, like you said, this is the ninth inning, and I'm going to put a little pepper on it. It's the ninth inning, and there's already one out.
Oh.
I mean, you only got two more outs here.
And the thing is, again, the questions that are presented to Madam Vice President, I have yet to see someone ask those same in-depth, which are relevant. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discounting the relevancy of these questions that are being presented to Madam Vice President, but these are the type of questions that are being presented to former President Donald Trump. He can go to a rally and just be like,
let's play music.
We're going to fix it. Yeah. We're going to fix it. We're going to build this wall. And it's like, okay, how? We're going to fix it. We're going to build it. When I was in office, or, calling Madam Vice President names. And by the way, both parties, to me, it's like, it's hard for me to even watch these campaigns now. I think last week, Governor Wallace, who is the vice presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, referred to, it was either Trump or J.D. Vance as a dip. Boop.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
Like, this is not leadership. And so when we come back, we're going to dissect into Madam Vice President's town hall meeting yesterday, which aired live on CNN. And, we're going to give you our takeaways. But primarily, should Madam Vice President take a break? And I know many of you are going to say, absolutely not. But yesterday, it was obvious. It was visibly obvious.
Man, I didn't see that.
Well, we trust
well,
it.
But I'm about to listen.
We got you. We got you. So if you did not watch the town hall yesterday that was hosted by CNN, Anderson Cooper, we will give you the highlights when we come back from our break. 833-212-1017. This is a Black Talk radio show. We would be remiss if we did not talk about the fact that we have a black woman who is running on the Democratic Party ticket to be the next president. And as we're getting closer to November the 5th, it is obvious that she is exhausted. Do we allow her as registered voters, undecided voters, to rest? Or is it like, nope, keep going, Kamala, keep going? And how will that impact the outcome of the campaign? You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, join us live for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for a lively debate and insights that you can't afford to miss. We've got it covered on the pulse of Black Milwaukee. Get your tickets to the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com.
This is Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers on 1017 The Truth.
Everybody's welcome at Outreach, and that's one of the things that makes us special. We do offer services based on a sliding fee, so I always recommend that people call in advance to get all of the details, but oftentimes we can see you for as little as $25 for your whole visit, and that gets your vaccines included. Outreach has nurse visits available for anyone who wants to have their vaccines either the same day or you can schedule ahead. For those, you just need to bring in your ID and your insurance card. You can also schedule a visit with your primary care provider. If you don't have one, we have some that are ready and excited to meet you. So all you have to do is give us a call during normal business hours. That's 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And that's 414-727-6320. Or you can always visit us on the website for more information. And that's www.ochc-milw.org.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are one Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
New York to the heart, but got love for all. Line die in the fire where I learned the ball.
I can't even talk over that.
The place where I lay my dome. On the streets of the Bronx where my family roam. Oh damn it, we home. Peter got a player haters can feel the flame for my heater. I never really liked to play a fool like that, but I love to succeed. See foes fall flat, flat like deja.
I was gonna let it ride, Ricky. Shoot. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is early voting election time in the state of Wisconsin, so please make sure that you are registered. Today, you can go and vote, and we're going to talk about that later in our show today. In the meantime, we've been discussing Madam Vice President Kamala Harris joined CNN's Anderson Cooper for a town hall in addition to Wisconsin, the critical battleground state of Pennsylvania last night. And the primary audience members that asked Madam Vice President questions were from undecided voters and persuadable voters. I don't really understand what that means when they say persuadable voters. Maybe I guess undecided, but leaning more towards. How do you measure that?
I was about to say, I don't even know how you explain that, because I'm going to sit there and be like, I'm undecided and you can't persuade me.
At this point, nothing shocks me, Telly.
Yeah.
And so we are less than 2 weeks before we head to the polls on Election Day, which is November the 5th. Less than 2 weeks, Telly. That's crazy.
That is. That really is. 2
weeks. Now, former President Donald Trump was invited by CNN, but declined to participate in any CNN town hall. He was like, y'all kick rocks with open-toed shoes. I ain't doing nothing with y'all. So before
Fox food.
Not the.
I'm down with Fox food.
I'm weak. So we're going to dissect the good moments, I guess I could say, as well as the not so good moments. But before we do that, let's hear from Mrs. Rose. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. Good morning, Mrs. Rose. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, but it's not Mrs. MS.
Ricky, you're killing me. We go through this all the time. Come on, brother. Because she is adamant about her name.
Okay, now here's how I got it all. Listen, remember, she has the least amount of time of running than any other person running for the presidency. So with these 2 weeks, this first week should be to strategize, prioritize, and deputize. So that way, this week she should get a whole time to get herself together and her body, because it's no good if her body can't take all this more than the normal of anybody running for president. And then the last week, this is when she can go implement whatever came out of her this first week of rest, because it's important. Don't worry about how it looks, but if you get other people doing it for you, then you can get a chance to reorganize your mentality as well as your body. And she is a human being like anyone else, but she has had the least amount of time to run for presidency than any other in our history, in our day, as those living today. And we got to recognize that and don't penalize a person because they take it out, because that's a part of being leadership too, is knowing when to take time out.
Absolutely. Great point, Mrs. Rose. Thank you so much. That's a great point. Part of leadership, again, is knowing when you need to take a break. Now, on our YouTube message board, you can stream and watch Telly and I live right now on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. And make sure, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, and that way you will never miss any of the shows here on Truth Nation. So, Rachel.
Have a blessed one.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Miss Rose. Have a great day. Rachel says 100% DT. Van Jones said it perfectly. They're not taking the same exam, referring to Madam Vice President and former President Donald Trump. He gets to be lawless, and she has to be flawless. Ooh.
It's just what it is.
I think I'm going to say that again, Rachel. I missed that, but that's pretty powerful. They're not taking the same exam, referring to former President Donald Trump and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. He gets to be lawless, and she has to be flawless. And that's according to Van Jones from CNN as well. Good morning, Jules. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Just a little comment. I've shared this before. Thank you for taking my call. Good morning. I've shared this before, but it's election time. I think it's important to share it again. My question is to Milwaukee, to America, who you rocking with, the AKA or the KKK?
Oh my God.
The dictator wannabe or the candidate standing for women's autonomy? The narcissist whack job insulting us about black jobs? The black female VP promoted, hail to the chief. With pride, we would say President Kamala Harris. Donald Trump would go back to making us all embarrassed. Kamala won't get impeached or say we should inject bleach. November, let's make the choice to have our daughters inspired. I refuse to vote for a pathological liar. With Harris as prayers, imagine what we'd accomplish. If Trump gets back in, he will refuse to leave office. We just can't let that happen. It's anti-democratic. Some people think presidents should only be Anglo-Saxon. Kamala is the future. He's the Trump prosecutor. Stop this fascist before he terminates the Constitution. Alpha women are classy. Trump thinks women are nasty. He'd give immunity to the cop who shot Sonia Massey. Who is taking these polls saying they vote for a criminal? How did we get so cynical? We know Trump has no principles. Kamala's demonstrated she's presidential material. Meanwhile, Trump's lying is serial and his ambitions imperial. He's a convicted felon leading a MAGA rebellion. In polls, Joe Biden was trailing, but Kamala should be prevailing. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much. I remember,
bars.
like, once he started going, I was like, okay, I do remember him.
He dropping bars this morning.
Yeah. That's early to do that.
Man, that was a great freestyle at 7:22 in the morning. Okay, Jules, we hear you. Now, again, if you're just tuning in, good morning, happy Friday Eve. Yesterday, Madam Vice President joined CNN along with Anderson Cooper to participate in a town hall meeting. We're going to start playing some clips from yesterday. Now, I didn't watch it live. I believe it started around maybe 9 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Central time. But for some reason, your girl DT thought that she was 20 again. So I had to get home to about 1 o'clock in the morning. Look at that.
No, I think I was watching that movie called The Eyelids.
It was a black movie.
It was a
That's
black
my
movie.
favorite black movie. It's all black, too. All
No
black.
sound. No sound, no picture.
What'd you say? You was watching the all black movie Eyelids? Yeah, your girl DT thought she was 20 again, but that's neither here nor there. So when I entered my hotel room, I turned on the television and CNN was on.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, okay. And I'm watching, this is 1 o'clock in the morning, so my brain is already like halfway off. And Ricky and Telly, I was like, she is exhausted. You could see it. You could hear it. How she answered questions during the presidential debate with former President Donald Trump, just what was that, last month, was completely different from last night.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Rose made a great point. You know, I get it. She's got a lot of pressure because she's only had, compared to traditional time frames for presidential candidates, she's had 100 days. Where
Literally.
usually people will have, what, for
couple of years.
I was going to say a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now, you know I'm Evansville Public School. I can't multiply 365 by 2 right now. So let's go to our first clip. Now, these are 2 clips that you're going to hear from last night's town hall meeting in Battleground State, one of the Battleground states, Pennsylvania. And you know that Madam Vice President has literally some days been in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin in the same day. Can you imagine that? And then having to be accessible and intelligent and articulate.
Smiling. Yeah.
It's hard being fake with haters. Trust me. I'm experienced. But anywho, hey, how you doing? What was seen on Friday? Hey, girl.
Hey.
Call me later. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Heifer. Damn. That's how. That is what Kamala Harris has to do.
Okay.
Madam Vice President, tell us why. You should be president when your opponent has no education, no formal background in political science, but tell us why you should.
I'll be like, look, I'm tired of answering that. Y'all got some sense. Y'all know what it is.
Telly, what you say? That's why you and I ain't running for public office.
Right.
I'll be like, are we really having this
I'm like,
conversation?
come on now.
When
like,
I tell
for
y'all
real.
the beat machine, they'd be like, you know what, Denise, we tried. Who else we got on the Democratic? All right, y'all, here we go. This is a soundbite, first one. And just take a listen. Whether you are a Trump supporter, Harris supporter, undecided, take a listen to this clip from yesterday's town hall meeting with Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. You be the judge. Let us know how you feel. Because at this point, me personally, I feel as though Madam Vice President needs a good day of just rest. A good 24 hours
They
of
should
just
need a spa treatment, like just a spa day.
See, you trying to get me to say some things that you know I can't say on air. She need a whole lot of stuff right now. And if you need me, Kamala, I got you. I got the connects. All right, here we go. Clip number 1.
About this compromise bill that you want to pass if you're elected. You said that's going to be a priority. It includes $650 million in funding for the border wall. That's something Republicans wanted. That was part of the compromise. Under Donald Trump, you criticized the wall more than 50 times. You called it stupid, useless, and a medieval vanity project. Is a border wall stupid?
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump and that border wall. So remember, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it? Come on, they didn't. How much of that wall did he build? I think the last number I saw is about 2%. And then when it came time for him to do a photo op, you know where he did it? In the part of the wall that President Obama built.
But you're agreeing to a bill that would earmark $650 million to continue building that wall.
I pledge that I am going to bring forward that bipartisan bill to further strengthen and secure our border. Yes, I am. And I'm going to work across the aisle to pass a comprehensive bill that deals with a broken immigration system. I think Jackson's question, part of it was to acknowledge that America has always had migration, but there needs to be a legal process for it. People have to earn it. And that's the point that I think is the most important point that can be made, which is we need a president who is grounded in common sense and practical outcomes. Like, let's just fix this thing. Let's just fix it. Why is there any ideological perspective on it? Let's just fix the problem.
To fix the problem, you're doing this compromise bill. It does call for $650 million that was earmarked under Trump to actually still go to build the wall.
I am not afraid of good ideas where they occur.
So you don't think it's stupid anymore?
I think what he did and how he did it did not make much sense because he actually didn't do much of anything.
So before we get into your reactions, Telly, you know, on the Truth Talking text line, which is 833-212-1017, there are some people that are already, you know, sending in their reactions and saying, you know, I like, for example, I'll read Howard. So Howard on our Truth Talking text line says, I saw reports of Madam President being tired, but I also saw clips of Trump falling asleep while on stage. If not for the people who have no idea what will happen if Trump gets back in the office, is her motivation to keep campaigning. Because if he gets back in power, you're going to be hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and I don't want to say I told you so. Okay, so here's the thing, Howard. this is why I try to do the disclaimer before we got into this. This is not about whether or not, let me say it this way. This is not about, Madam Vice President, you got to stay in there. You're losing ground because Trump, he was falling on stage. So why? We're not, she is a human being. And if we truly as, and I'm not saying either way that I am. So if you're truly a Harris supporter, you can't say, well, Trump was falling asleep too. We're not talking about former President Donald Trump. We're talking about the fact that she looks and sounds exhausted. And you can't say, because again, like Rachel shared Van Jones' quote, just because Trump is falling asleep just as much as Madam President, they're not going to ding him for that. Mm-hmm. So we're focused on what needs to happen between now and November the 5th, because if she continues to push the way that she's pushing, and I know she has a lot of pressure, she is going to ultimately, hopefully not, but she could possibly say something that could be detrimental to her campaign. Because again, y'all, we keep comparing Madam Vice President to former President Donald Trump, and it's not a fair comparison.
No, I was about to say the key word in there, the F word, fair.
Exactly.
Because unlike the truth, where we try to provide a fair platform where you can voice your opinion on either side, it doesn't matter which side you're on. That's not the case in politics. Those are not things that are implemented in politics. There's nothing fair about what's going on because, again, it's a great point what Rachel said, what Van Jones said, because they're not taking the same exam. And so if you constantly saying, well, they're doing it, well, they're not even taking the same test. So how can you compare yourself to what someone else is doing? And it's not even the same game that you're playing. And so what are you going to do? You're going to keep crying about the fact that it's not fair? Or are you going to continue to try to run your race the best way that you possibly can?
Let me ask you a question, Telly. Speaking of running the race the best way that you possibly can, let me ask you this. You've been black for a long time in this country. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me you've never had a situation in the workplace where you thought, wow, this person, my white counterpart, can literally do half of what I'm required to do, and blatantly in my face, I witness him getting promoted? Where I do, if I even do half of what he doesn't do, then I'm criticized. I think we as black people in this country are not foreign to witnessing the privileges that come with how leadership is regarded. This country still obviously leans more towards straight white men, older white men being qualified to lead versus someone who is not. So I find it interesting when our valued listeners will say things like, well, Trump did it. Again, how many times in your life have you experienced as a black person where you gave 150%? Not that that's a real quantitative value, but for the purpose of this argument, you gave way above and beyond. And you saw your white counterpart do half of what you do, and they come in the office every day. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and you're like, man, bump you. So don't act brand new now because we're used to this. Mm-hmm. And how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel knowing that you are qualified way more than your white counterpart? You work harder because you know you have to work harder, and you still see this person being celebrated and promoted. Let's not act like we forgot about that. And that's exactly what's happening in this campaign. When we come back, we'll take your call. Al, you're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We want to hear your thoughts, 833-212-1017. We're discussing Madam Vice President's appearance during the CNN town hall meeting yesterday with Anderson Cooper. And again, she is visibly, physically and emotionally and mentally, I wouldn't say emotionally, I'd say definitely mentally and physically exhausted. We'll be back.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde showed up to the Milwaukee Juneteenth Festival. He said he was having a good time.
I'm here having fun. This is one heck of a party.
But then Eric Hovde was asked if there was anything he was going to take away about black culture. Hovde's answer?
Look, I've spent a lot of time in black culture. I've spent a lot of time in places like Africa because I have homeless shelters.
Run that back for me? Eric Hovde is asked about black culture, and the first thing that comes to mind is taking trips to Africa and homeless shelters? Hovde's comments were called, quote, ignorant, and they reek of stereotype and white paternalism. But when Eric Hovde was asked about the criticism, he said, do I have to respond to the stupidity of that question? Eric Hovde.
I've spent a lot of time in places like Africa.
What's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Tammy Baldwin for Senate.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With limited incomes not keeping up with the lingering effects of inflation, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Milwaukee Health Services Incorporated is celebrating 35 years of serving all income and medically underserved populations of Milwaukee's metropolitan area. MHSI is a one-stop shop that provides medical, radiology, dental, pediatric, behavioral health, pharmacies with affordable medications, and more. Also, MHSI's new family medicine residency program, located at the Isaac Cobbs Heritage Health Center, has brought 28 family doctors to our area, which is significantly impacted by healthcare workforce shortages. Become a new patient today. To schedule an appointment, call 414-372-8080. Your health is their business.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
An accident now, 4394 northbound, right about at Beecher. The center lane is blocked with this, so that means we're getting big delays all the way back into the Mitchell interchange. Also an accident off the freeway system on Blue Mound Road westbound, right about at 95th Street. This is just before you get to the I-41 connection there, right near the zoo itself. Right lane's closed with that crash. And then eastbound 94 slowing down from 84th Street all the way to Hawley Road and a little bit more through the stadium. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 63. Tonight, increasing clouds, rain likely, some thunder possible, a low of 49. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, there are less than 2 weeks left to sign up for our Black-owned business give back. If you want to win $6,000 worth of free commercial advertising on The Truth for 3 months, go to blackbusinessgiveback.com right now. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com right now to sign up today for official rules. Head to blackbusinessgiveback.com, associated bank member FDIC.
The Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. You can stream and watch Telly and I live right now on YouTube at 1017thetruth.com. The phone lines are blowing up. Let's go straight to them. Thank you for your patience. We're going to start with Al. Good morning, Al. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
My comment is Miss Harris is human, so how do they expect she's going to look? And furthermore, they should not be comparing somebody who's showing early signs of dementia from type 3 diabetes and issues with incontinence while their bodies slowly prep themselves for death. Because when a person has those issues, they are not mentally fixed. And what I was going to say to you, DT and Telly, for those haters you do have, let them haters rot like a euthanized dog in an animal hospital getting prepped for cremation services. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Al, for your perspective as always. And we have John. Good morning, John. Thank you for your patience. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. My comment is that I think that you are correct. I'd like to echo the sentiment about the double standard that we're seeing here. One candidate gets to decide that he's not going to show up at all, or he shows up and spews unchecked lies, or he gets to muse about people's genitals and Hannibal Lecter and sharks. Meanwhile, we parse every word that the Madam Vice President says out of her mouth, and she better not stumble or misstep. I think that's interesting. But just thinking back on what you said about the double standard, I just find it fascinating in America where a candidate with the rap sheet of a Donald Trump wouldn't pass a background check for any other job in America. Yet millions of people are ready to enthusiastically say that he should represent the United States on the global stage as chief executive of the United States and commander-in-chief. Tell me about a double standard. I think that's fascinating only
John,
in America.
Let me ask you a question, John. And because and also I want to hear from our valued listeners who are Trump supporters. Because I'm going to ask you this, John. What do we because we've established that we as black people in this country, I don't care who you are, if you've ever worked in a predominantly white environment, the majority of us as black Americans, as professionals, we have witnessed where our white counterparts do less. And I know, Telly, you've got a story.
No, it's just, and we were talking during the break, and I said that there are a lot of triggers. I mean, I don't have a lot of triggers, but that is one because there have been times throughout your career or job, whatever, line of work you do, where you know that you are 10 times better than that person. And not only does that person get promoted, they get celebrated on how hard they work and how good they are, and for a fact that isn't true. So
why are we even, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so John, my question, and thank you for sharing that, Telly. John, my question to you is, what do we do now? So if we are, let's say, either a registered, highly persuadable Republican, undecided voter, what do we need to see from Madam Vice President now? And quite frankly, what do you think she needs to do? Because, we are less than 2 weeks away from November the 5th, Election Day. And based on how she showed up during the town hall meeting yesterday, she is exhausted. So what do we do at this point?
Well, I think we give grace. The other thing I think I would advise her to do is keep doing what she's doing, making the case, drawing the contrast. She's working hard, showing up everywhere. I'd say keep fighting the fight, keep running the race, and hopefully, in the end, sanity prevails. And if it doesn't, God bless us all. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, John. And I was just even thinking about another thing. It's called America. It's called America. There's a double standard, but I mean, even if you look at, and I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it yesterday, and I'm not even sure if we really want to go down this road today, but when you have the former CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, being arrested for the same thing that Diddy got arrested for, and one gets to go home, the other one gets to go to jail. So
we all know the answer to that.
Exactly. So and this is no different. You know, one person gets to get away with so much. And like Rachel said, to kick off this show, is no better way to even say it. Where Madam Vice President has to be flawless, he can be lawless.
And you know what? I'm going to do this person a courtesy. I'm not even going to say your name live on air. But we have a listener, before we go to break, who sent in on the Truth Talking text line, Trump is 80 and she is 60. And she tired? I'm 48 and I'm tired. Like, when did it become, you're 60, you should be... I can't make this up, y'all. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We come back, we're going to take another caller. Y'all call in. The line is blowing up. 833-212-1017. Pat, we see you. When we come back, we'll go straight to you. Stay locked in.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, the election is less than 3 weeks away, and we are excited for our final The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This show will break down the 2024 election and discuss whether VP Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump is the best candidate for our community. Do not miss the last The Truth on Politics on Tuesday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. with Dr. Ken Harris, Sherwin Hughes, Tori Lowe, and Jason Fields on the award-winning 1017 The Truth and streaming live on YouTube.
The Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, we're talking about up to $5 million, which for small business owners, we need that. That's like payroll, that's resources. So can you just let us know, what is the program and why is this lending program so important to Old National Bank?
Years ago, our CEO, Jim Ryan, this program is his brainchild. He was working with Roland Shelton, who you know, Denise, out of Evansville, and they identified that African-American business owners, Hispanic business owners, Native American business owners, as well as women business owners had a difficult time in obtaining financing from the traditional credit partners. And so we went out, created a program, launched it last year in 2023. And so far last year, we have helped over 100 successful minority and women-owned businesses with about $25 million in loans. We've already started this year with almost $8 million in approvals, again, geared toward minority business owners and women business owners that normally had difficulties in obtaining traditional credit finance.
The WIAA football playoffs is here. Tune in this Friday night as the number one seeded Marquette Hilltoppers begin their quest for back-to-back state championship titles as they host the 8th seeded Milwaukee Marshall Eagles. The football action kicks off at 7 p.m. on 1017 The Truth. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices and sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Left's Lucky Town, Boyle Frederickson Intellectual Property Law, and Marquette University High School.
Make Milwaukee work for you. 1MKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are One Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Okay, DJ Ricky, we see you. All right,
Feel Good Thursdays.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I'm with it.
Our Truth Talking text line is blowing up. We see you. We're going to come right to you. Really quick, I got to let Truth Nation know to tap into Jammin' with Juice Live from Steinhoppels in Oak Creek this Friday. Yes, Carrie Noni and Benjamin will be broadcasting live from Steinhoppels in Oak Creek this Friday from noon to 1 p.m. To celebrate, they will be giving away a $100 Bucks gift card live on air. So come jam on the couch with the Truth live from Steinhoppels in Oak Creek this Friday. And don't miss your chance to win a $100 Bucks gift card live on air, courtesy of Steinhoppels and 101.7 The Truth. If you're just tuning in, good morning. Good morning. We have been discussing Madam Vice President's current state in terms of mental and physical health, because based on how she showed up during yesterday's town hall meeting, which took place in battleground state of Pennsylvania, hosted by CNN's Anderson Cooper, she is visibly tired.
Yeah, and before we get into those callers, DT, something I was just thinking about, and that is, unfortunately, like, we know that she's only had 100 days, and it was just going to be a 100-day blitz. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, like, I mean, you can't get tired right now. I mean, there's just some professions that
But she is, though.
But I'm saying that there's just some professions you can't have a bad day. Like, you don't want your pilot to have a bad day.
You know what? I feel you. You're right.
You don't want your surgeon to have a bad day the day of your surgery. And there's just some professions that you can't afford to have a bad day. It's just unfortunate.
I'm glad you said that way, because that includes us. Like I can't tell you how many times where I'm just like, I do not feel like walking on this stage, but I know I have to.
You have to.
That's a great point, Telly. Thank you for reminding me that.
It's just some professions,
and especially when you deal
can't have a bad day.
With people who sit on the couch all day and want to criticize, and they don't even know half the stuff that it took for you to even get. Anywho, Good morning, Pat. Hey, girl. What? There's my boo.
Hey, girl.
Hey, boo.
Oh, Lord. What we got going on here?
What's up, Pat? I'm smiling from cheek to cheek.
Family.
Yes.
Yes. I watched her
Pat
on
for President
CNN,
2028. Pat for President 2028. Pat for President. I'm sorry, I didn't just say that. Go ahead.
You say she looks tired, Pat?
Yeah, she is tired. Yeah, I think she's tired, and I hope that she knows that she has ran a great race. I believe that she is going to win, and I hope, first and foremost, the first thing she does is take a break. I know everybody's saying that she's only been doing it for 100 days or whatever, but to have to smile and be energetic after people have talked about you and keep you cool, she has done a great job. So that's what I wanted to say. I think she did a great job. I think she's going to win, and I hope the first thing she do is take a vacation.
Why do you think she did a great job, Pat? What are you basing that on?
Because I think, I guess because she has been going and going and going. And she's had a fight. You know, this has not been a cakewalk for her.
Yeah. So you're talking about her entire campaign has been good, not last night. That's what we're trying.
Good question.
So you're trying. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
So,
you weren't talking about last night was.
Yeah,
good.
her whole entire campaign for being a woman of color and having to stand up against Donald Trump and some of his rhetoric. She has done a great job to me. I won't say that she hasn't. I think that she did the best she could, and I thought she answered the questions better than she has answered them in a long time. I think her tired had her be a little more transparent for me. She got human to me yesterday.
Okay. So wait a minute, Pat. We're making progress because a few days ago you were very transparent and you said, "Look, I'm undecided." Now I'm not asking you to publicly announce if you've changed your mind, but have you changed your mind? Have you changed your mind about voting?
I won't answer that, but I will say that she did become transparent because she didn't use the same stuff that she usually. She really talked about issues. The border, I thought that was one of my major things. So I was impressed when she said that she's not opposed to a good idea coming from anywhere. So I thought that was great.
I did too.
That's just what I wanted to say this morning. Y'all have a great day.
Yeah,
Thank you. You too, Pat.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense because, you know, like you said, Pat was like, I don't know, and this, that, and the other. And we were trying to figure out, remember we asked the question, what do you need to hear? And sometimes you don't even know what you need to hear. but it was
Until you
something
hear
that
it.
she saw.
Yeah.
That she's like, oh man, she's tired, but she's more transparent. Like, okay, like she said, she's more human to me now.
I love that.
And so something that may seem like it was bad was actually a good thing for somebody like Pat.
That's great. I'm
Maybe
so
that
happy
was
to
the
hear that.
breakthrough that she needed. Like, she couldn't tell us that she needed to hear her be more transparent when she's tired because she didn't know that's what it would be. But that's what it was.
I love it. And it's relatable.
Yeah.
Everyone, especially, that's a certain demographic, we can relate to when you are up against somebody who can't even hold a candle to your trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be clear. I don't have anything against Donald Trump I don't know him. I don't have anything against him. I'm just trying to understand when you compare. This is another reminder. It's a blatant reminder in our faces that, what did Van Jones say?
Yeah.
He gets to be lawless, and she has to be flawless. Good morning, White Widow. You have been so patient. Thank you for your patience. You were live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Oh, that's okay. Good morning. I just want to say I'm working for the Kamala campaign, and previously, probably around June, I was solicited by the Hobie campaign. The money is great. Unfortunately, Hobie indicated he has absolutely no interest in going into Milwaukee. They're staying in the suburbs, at which time I was undecided. I was solicited to work through my union for the Kamala campaign. I'm on my third week. Sorry, I'm out of breath walking to the courthouse right now. But I want to say that underneath this election, the camaraderie, I'm with home health care workers. 90% are women of color who are taking care of our elderly and such. The networking, the camaraderie, the stories. And right now we are so passionate. We have tenacity, and we're tired too. But our hearts are in it. We're fighting arm in arm as women with common concerns. And I tell you, this is probably one of the most rewarding things in my life that I have gone through. Watching the tenacity, watching the strength, watching the commitment, the love of this candidate by Black women that I work with. It's just...
And Ms. White,
I'm happy.
White Widow, if you want to hold, because I don't want to interject, but my producer is telling me I've got to go to break. So if you want to hold, please feel free to. Otherwise, you can call back, but we got to take a break. But thank you so much. And thank you, regardless of who you're supporting, thank you for being out there and working the streets for this campaign, because we need all the energy, regardless of what party you support. We need everybody out here to get us out here to the polls. So thank you, White Widow. When we come back at the top of the hour, we are going to get into the most recent early voting Wisconsin report. So if you want to know how we are doing as a state, now, again, this Wisconsin report is not going to tell you how Black folks are voting and where they're voting, but at least we'll get a further understanding of how many people are showing up, as well as voter suppression. A lot of people that have been voting in predominantly Black neighborhoods in this city of Milwaukee have been experiencing voter suppression. So we want to get into that as well. Our Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Benjamin.
And your girl Noni Juice.
And we'll be coming at you live from Steinhoffel's in Oak Creek this Friday. Jamming on the couch at Steinhoffel's live from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m.
So come on down and jam on the couch with us. And get something juicy from Steinhoffel's to upgrade all your home furniture needs. We've got juicy topics, and Steinhoffel's has some great deals waiting for you.
Steinhoffel's Oak Creek. Don't miss it.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Vice President Kamala Harris.
Talk with your listeners to remind them of their power and the importance of voting. And the folks in Milwaukee turned out for me and Joe Biden in 2020. You showed what was possible.
U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, are you a racist?
Absolutely not.
Is Donald Trump a racist?
Absolutely not. No.
And civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump.
Thank you all for speaking truth to power. That's the most important thing, because right now there are those in our community who would rather we just be quiet.
Right.
We have to disturb the peace now more than ever.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
Listen to the man who tells you exactly how he sees it. The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Ain't that the doggone truth? Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
That's funny because I played that just for you.
Ain't that the doggone? Wait a minute, Ricky, do me a favor, please, sir. Start that song one more again. Because I mean, literally, this is how I feel right now. It's like me versus everybody. Please turn it up, Ricky, for the folks in the back.
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me.
Sometimes you just gotta throw on that DMX.
Hey. Y'all gon' make me lose my
Thank you, Ricky.
up in here.
Thank you. I just had to get that off my chest. Thank you. Good morning, Brian. You are live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
Yeah, my thing is the word suppression, the voter suppression thing. I think we need to stop saying voter suppression because it's sounding kind of silly. The reason I say that is because how can somebody suppress your vote? Unless they're in line with you telling you, hey, get out the line, you can't vote, or I'm going to beat you up. Or if you're in line and mysteriously all the ballots disappear or they run out of ballots, that's the only thing that's really, to me, voter suppression, if it's intentional. The type of definition you guys are using for suppression, it don't make sense to me. So what is voter suppression to the media? What is voter suppression to you guys? I'm curious.
Well, you just said that we already defined it, so you go already say we answered the question and then ask it again? So we're saying,
you're not the only people saying suppression, though. Everybody says suppression, voter suppression. Republicans talk about voter suppression. Channel 6, Channel 58 says voter suppression. Why are the media saying voter suppression? Because to me, there's only two ways to suppress a vote.
And
Beating somebody up and telling them to get out of voting lines or running off with the ballots. That's the only thing that to me is common sense saying voter suppression.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the media's definition of voter suppression?
I literally broke it down yesterday for different examples, but okay. Go ahead, Telly, you got it. I literally read verbatim the different examples of voter suppression that exist in this country. But Brian, what I've learned being on this show, you have your position. Ain't no need for, because you're not going to change your mind. So, Telly, you got it.
Yeah, no. I think Brian was saying to me. Like, I'm glad you kept saying, to me, this is what voter suppression is. To me, to me, to me. So that's your idea of it. There are several, and we have talked about it on this show, that there are several methods that are considered voter suppression.
Well, I go by the definition of suppression in the dictionary. I mean, maybe I'm too old school, but I remember the word suppression in the dictionary, and that means to stop something. So if I don't think an individual can stop a person from voting, unless it's physical.
Yeah. Well,
unless it's physical.
Well, you might need to go and check the dictionary again, because suppress and stop are two different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
they are two different things.
Thank you for your call, Brian. Good morning, the caller. Thank you for your patience. What is your question or comment? You are live with DT. And Telly.
Thank you and Telly for your patience. Because if your name rhymes with lion, sometimes you'll call and tell a lie, even if you know what a word means. Because I find this brother in many ways intelligent, but I'm sure there were very intelligent people, and I'm beginning to believe he descends from the people who sold us into bondage, because that DNA may still be in his body. To me, that's what I think of my brother, sadly. Because he would be a wonderful individual if he would actually look at the truth instead of, lies. However, if anybody has any questions about voter suppression, Martin Sheen has produced a movie called Vigilantes, Inc., which the Ku Klux Klan, when they incorporated under that name. There is a major in the United States Army who lives in Georgia, who was temporarily stationed in California. He's been in the military for 30 years. The law in the state of Georgia is if they challenge your vote, you're required to travel back home. So many of our soldiers who were in Afghanistan were purged from voter lists. Students who go to school out of state were purged from voters list. And this man who was crying because he served our country for 30 years and had to travel with a lawyer back to Georgia, and this is a very interesting documentary, to prove his citizenship. That's voter suppression, Brother Brian. I'm sorry you choose to pretend to be ignorant when you're an intelligent brother from Milwaukee, and that truly saddens me every time he calls. So Denise, Telly, thank you for being patient with our brother. Maybe our love for him will get that slave seller DNA out of him.
Thank you, the caller. We always appreciate you.
I love y'all.
We love you back.
I love y'all.
We love you back. And we love Brian, too. All right, Sean. Good morning. You are live with DT and Telly. Hold up, Sean. Before you give us your comment or question, Ricky, I'm weak on our YouTube message board. Dead Girl 2820 said, "More DMX, please, Ricky!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Oh, they feeling the turn up today, huh?
Man, well, they're feeling that song. Y'all go make me. I feel you, Dead Girl 2820. All right, Sean. Thank you for your patience. You're live with DT and Telly. What is your question or comment?
I'm more on
the realm of 1, 2, meet me outside with that comment that guy just made. I was just so frustrated. I was in here singing 1, 2, meet me outside. The thing of it is, voter suppression will never be blatant. He's asking for outright blatant voter suppression. You won't see that. It's the jelly beans in the jar and counting the jelly beans in the jar, what it used to be years ago. Just like discrimination, people have ways of discriminating. They can't outright and blatantly discriminate against you. You're black, I can't hire you. So, no, it would never be that. It's got to be a roundabout way to do something. They want to suppress the vote, so they find ways to do it so that it doesn't look like suppression of some people, such as the caller that we just heard. I don't recall his name. But it's nevertheless suppression.
Yeah.
So, no, you won't get it. You won't get a dictionary definition of it when you see it.
You know what, Sean?
It's hidden.
Sean and our other listeners who are triggered by our last caller who basically said that voter suppression doesn't exist. How can you stop someone from voting? I'm learning this every day, and it's protecting my peace. I don't argue with because it's you're not going to win. So, but I appreciate y'all's. Because everything that y'all are saying, I can't say. So thank you, Sean. And don't meet.
Have a good morning,
look, Sean. Don't meet Brian outside because you sound like a beautiful person. It ain't even worth it, sis.
Yeah,
it ain't worth
keep
it.
Keep your earrings on.
Right,
keep the Vaseline in the purse. You know, you ain't gotta get down this morning.
It's just a metaphor. I know I can't beat him up. I'm a woman. But the thing of it is, that's just what my mindset is.
Look, Sean, look. Don't get it twisted now. You saw what Tina did to Ike in that limousine. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, Sean, you sound...
All right, dog.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sean, she sounds too beautiful to be even diminishing her light to entertain. But I get it. It was a metaphor. It's funny because people on the YouTube message board, Ricky, they're like, ruff, ruff, doing the DMX. Oh, my goodness. Gwendolyn on our YouTube message board shares, I'm having an issue with getting some friends and family to vote at all. So many think that their vote will not make a difference. What can I say or do about this? Great question. Telly?
Yes. Oh, I don't have the answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just say that's a great question because, I mean, there's only so much convincing. I'm sure they watch TV. There's been so many ads. There's every time you look around, someone is saying something about voting, and I don't know what you would say at this point. Yeah.
I'll answer it this way. There are a lot of things that we have been conditioned to do in our community that at some point we developed a resentment because we didn't even realize the trauma. So I'll just go ahead and put it out there. You know, there are a number of us that grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the things that were told to us as children growing up in the church, or, you know, whether it was, if you do this, you're going to burn and die in hell, or if you don't do this, and then when we get older, we were just like, wait a minute, like that was so traumatic and false. And so then it gets you to the point where you have a certain population that just refuse to go to church anymore. They're like, I spent all my youth, all my early adult years being mandated to do something that now I realize, and it's not to say that these people don't have faith or a spiritual connection with a higher power. It's just the experiences. So that's the same way when you hear people, Gwendolyn, that are saying, I don't want to vote. My recommendation is first meet them where they are and ask them why. Why do you feel that way? Like, what has brought you to this place where you don't want to vote? And you'll probably learn, Gwendolyn, some things that they've experienced based on voting previously and why they're not voting this time. And just listen to learn and understand. And when you say things like, you got to vote, our ancestors, I'm telling you right now, that's just going to further, that's going to draw them even further from the voting process. So my immediate suggestion or recommendation to you to consider is sit down and listen and learn and understand why they do not want to vote during this election. When we come back, we're going to get more into that because I know we got to go to break. We also got callers calling in. I'm loving this. 833-212-1017 is our Truth Talking text line. We were talking about originally Madam Vice President Kamala Harris's performance, or I should say how she showed up yesterday during the CNN town hall meeting with Anderson Cooper. And it appears as though she is very, very tired. For those that support Harris Walt's campaign, what do we need to do as voters to support her? Trump supporters, how are you feeling about this? When we come back, we'll go into our Truth Talking text line. Keep them coming on the YouTube message board. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT and Telly.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, join us live for the Truth Summit on Saturday, October 26th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for a lively debate and insights that you can't afford to miss. We've got it covered on the pulse of Black Milwaukee. Get your tickets to the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure Black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including Black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help Black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
At Milwaukee College Prep, they believe that every child deserves a chance to reach their full potential. Unfortunately, in Milwaukee, this is not always the case. Research shows the educational opportunity gap between white and Black students is twice the national average. This is why Milwaukee College Prep is committed to eliminating this gap. In fact, MCP scholars tested advanced or proficient at a rate nearly 8 times higher than the other predominantly Black public schools in Milwaukee. Provide your student with the best educational opportunity by visiting MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com. College bound, character strong.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. 1 call, that's all.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Would you join me, please, in welcoming
Truth Nation, Milwaukee, the time is almost here. We have been entering Truth fans into the Gruber Law Offices 5K giveaway for the last 3 months. And next Thursday, that's right, Halloween, we finally pick our next one call. That's all $5,000 giveaway winner. Be sure to tune into Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on Halloween, October 31st, so you do not miss your call, because if you do, we will go down to the next caller until we find our $5,000 winner. Again, that is the Big Gruber 5K giveaway Thursday, October 31st on Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
And Truth Nation, our first Truth Summit is this Saturday, October 26th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the 3rd Street Market Hall. This exclusive in-person roundtable will examine the state of finances, education, and politics for Black Milwaukee. Dr. Ken Harris will be joined by expert guests for insights and a lively debate that you cannot afford to miss. Reserve your spot for the Truth Summit by visiting 1017thetruth.com. That is 1017thetruth.com. And the Truth Summit is sponsored by One Milwaukee, because together we are One Milwaukee, and food provided by Shawnee's Exquisite Catering. Good morning, Bob. You are live with DT and Telly. Thank you for your patience. What is your question or comment?
Well, hello there, young lady and Frat. I was wondering when you're going to get married, or did you get a divorce? I was, I was wondering, but married to Sherwin Hughes. But whatever, I'm just waiting.
We're working on it.
Am I invited to the wedding?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, it's gonna be pretty quick. There will be no free food. There will be no DJ or live band. It will be straight City Hall transactional. But yeah, we're working on it. We'll keep you posted.
You can get more at the Truth Summit than you would do at that wedding, by the way.
Okay. Now listen, cancer. It's strange how when something happens real rough, like the union, there's a black person that takes charge. Just like when Biden ran for president. I don't think he'd have won if Clyburn hadn't have jumped in South Carolina. Just like when the world was really financially, economically rough, they had Obama run and win 2 terms. It's just strange how when something really happens, that black individual is picked to handle it. And I found out, my last point, I found out they're in the list of some of the toughest women in this world. Oprah Winfrey, Mrs. Clinton, you, young lady, Kelly, and
Thank you.
the vice president. That vice president is a tough lady. I wonder how she's going to endure when she wins.
See, now you're asking the right questions, Mr. Bob. Go ahead. Now you're asking the right questions.
You think so?
Absolutely, because it's like we and I'm just going to say this: we're so excited about getting a black woman in the White House. If and when she wins, then what? How are we going to support her?
Yeah, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. But man, that was.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, Bob made some great points because there's been a lot of situations where there has been a person of color that has had to come in the most difficult situations and try to make it better. And then if it's not any better, they're looked upon as they're not competent enough to get it done. But you forget that, wait a minute, this was a mess. Like, let's be real. When Obama got in office, it was a mess. Bush left him a mess. He left him a mess. And for you sports junkies out there, I'm going to tell you something that's very interesting. I don't know if you knew this, DT, but the Houston Astros won a World Series, and they got caught cheating. They were cheating. They were doing things that were, stealing signs, right? And so they fired the general manager. They fired the manager. And, it was just kind of like a black, mark on that World Series. Who did they go hire? They went and hired Dusty Baker at 68 years old. This black man comes in, right? Yeah. And then they end up winning the World Series the right way. You know what I'm saying? So, nobody else wanted that job. And then they gave the job to Dusty to go and clean it up. So
we
this
always
is not
fix
the
things.
first time exactly that we gotta fix a mess.
And we're so forgiving. Oh my gosh, we will inherit the biggest pile of brown stuff
And where are we now? So we have the worst economy according to former President Trump. The border's a mess. Like, all these things are a mess. Who's going to come and clean it up? 4 years ago, you had a chance to try and clean it up and didn't. Well, not 4 years ago, 8 years ago. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I feel you. And you know what? Since we're on the topic, because again, Mr. Bob presented a great question, and I've had this conversation with some of my close friends, because I'll tell you right now, I don't talk about politics unless your last name is Thomas or we are like tight, close. I will not engage in discussions about this show is enough for me.
Yeah,
like for real.
It
but
could cause friction.
I'm curious as to, you know, a lot of black folks, we're so excited and adamant about getting a black person in the White House. But my question is, so if Madam Vice President wins, what are we going to do to support her? Does she have the support that she needs? Because you want to go there? Let's go there. They're already acting a fool that she's even on the ticket. What do you mean when you say that, Denise? I'm so glad you asked. I'll give you an example. When former President Obama was first elected, I was working for a company here that's based out in Waukesha. The chief diversity officer flew in from her home office in New Orleans, and she asked, and everybody was like, oh, you know, the chief diversity officer, she's here, you know, and the president just won. You know, she gonna get us pumped up because, you know, we got a black president. She put us in that. She asked for the top 100 black emerging employees, like those who were high potential that were about to be promoted. She put us in one room. She said, how y'all feeling? We was like, my president is black. My Lambos blue. She was like, have a seat.
Like, look.
Sit show over. She said, let me tell you something. You think it's bad now?
Yeah.
She said, there's certain people that are going to treat you even worse because we have a black president.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think if we have a black female president? So I am just putting this out here to us. Don't let these people trigger you and get you in a position where you can't feed your family. And it's already started. At the airport the other day, I boarded my flight. My seat was 1D, as in DT, but I sat in 1B. Okay, Telly? Mm-hmm. Here comes this man, and he just walks up to me, and he goes, that's my seat. I'm in 1B. I looked at him, and I said, good morning. How are you? See, that's how you talk to a human being. And he realized, oh, he picked the wrong one. And he said, I apologize. And he sat down and he took his iPad out and he just had his face. And the flight attendant came up to me and was like, I love you. I was like, what is happening right now? Yeah. She ain't even won yet. And y'all already acting a fool. We have to be prepared. We have to be prepared because, you know, it's one thing when we as a community are going back and forth about whether or not Madam Vice President is qualified, whether or not she's going to be a great leader for this country. It's another thing when you have people, just the fact that she's ahead or neck to neck or able to, you know, be the Democratic Party's presidential candidate, that are going to say things to you that are going to be very passive aggressive, but they are intended to remind you, I don't care who she is. As far as I'm concerned, you are still you already know the word. Mm-hmm. Don't let these people out here, because a lot of us, you know, we're so excited. Yeah, we're going to you know, this is still America. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that to distract anybody from voting a certain way. This is the reality, because I remember distinctively, she said, sit y'all's enthusiasm. You think it's going to get better for us? In terms of the corporate, predominantly white working environments, it just takes one, too. It just takes that one person to say something, to trigger you in the workplace. And the next thing you know, you're in the HR office and you're on a performance improvement plan, and then you're fired. Mm-hmm. And it's not worth it.
Yeah. Like we keep saying, DT, there's going to be a reaction either way. Don't think that everything is just going to continue the way it is once a winner is declared, because there's going to be, you know, back flack from, if Trump wins, and it's going to be a lot of, clap back with if Harris wins. So, again, we are just trying to make sure that we are thinking ahead and not just making sure, and not just putting everything on the election, because, after November 5th, guess what happens? It's November 6th. And then it's going to be November 7th. And then, so you're going to continue on. So not just, hey, how are we going to get our candidate in there? It's what are we going to do once our candidate is in there to support them?
I completely agree. We have to also get prepared for the outcome of this election, regardless of who wins. And I just hope that, we're getting ourselves mentally, emotionally, and even hopefully not, but even physically prepared for the reaction.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be one. There's going to be one.
So, Ricky, you said there was a question for me regarding the story I just shared? I was, but that's not the point. The point was how you approached me. Man. Phew. People make mistakes every day. It wasn't whether or not I was in the right or wrong seat. It was the way he approached me. Because if it were the tables turned, if I would have walked up to him and been like, "You in my seat? Who you think you are?" Oh my God, I'd have been all over social media. Angry black woman attacks. Whew.
Yeah.
After all I said, this caller just do we need to go to break, Ricky?
Yes, we do.
No, for real, do we?
Yes.
This is how I start my day. All right. We're going to take a break. We come back. We've got a special edition, unless you don't want to, Telly, because I know I'm just throwing this at you. We haven't done Truth or Dare in a while. If you want to
think about it on
hey,
this
that's
break.
Fair. That's fair. Because we haven't done it in a while, but I just kind of threw it on you. So if we need to continue with this conversation, because conversation is important, and our Truth and Talk, our Truth Talk and text line has been blowing up, as well as our Truth Talk and text message line. YouTube, we see you. We see you, YouTube message board. We appreciate you. Stay locked in. We come back. We're going to continue this conversation because that's what the truth is all about. Your voice is valuable and deserves to be heard. Stay locked in. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly.
Don't touch that dial. Truth Be Told with DT and Telly will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Republican Senate candidate Eric Hovde showed up to the Milwaukee Juneteenth Festival. He said he was having a good time.
I'm here having fun. This is one heck of a party.
But then Eric Hovde was asked if there was anything he was going to take away about black culture. Hovde's answer?
Look, I've spent a lot of time in black culture. I've spent a lot of time in places like Africa because I have homeless shelters.
Run that back for me? Eric Hovde is asked about black culture, and the first thing that comes to mind is taking trips to Africa and homeless shelters? Hovde's comments were called, quote, ignorant, and they reek of stereotype and white paternalism. But when Eric Hovde was asked about the criticism, he said, "Do I have to respond to the stupidity of that question?" Eric Hovde.
I've spent a lot of time in places like Africa.
What's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Tammy Baldwin for Senate.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice, it's a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom. It's a right to have a child. It's a right to not have children. And this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds light on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
What's up, Troop Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice, here from my friends at Steinhafels. And guess what? Steinhafels has everything you need to get your home ready for the holidays. Elegant dining sets, perfect for hosting family dinners, cozy bedrooms to relax and recharge after celebrations, and fireplaces to warm those cold winter nights. Plus, with Steinhafels 18-month financing, getting your home ready for the holidays has never been easier. Steinhafels, helping you make the holidays special. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Well, we're still dealing with a few accidents out there. First of all, on southbound 41, right about at Silver Spring, off on the left shoulder, backup stretching all the way back past Good Hope Road. Also, northbound on 43, we have a broken down vehicle right about at Locust, and the right lane is blocked with that. So that's going to be backing things up all the way through the Marquette. Southbound side's pretty typical stuff from just south of Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive. And then off the freeway system, we do still have this accident on westbound Blue Mound Road at 95th Street. This is just before you get to 41. The right lane is blocked on the westbound side of Blue Mound, so be careful of that. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 63. Tonight, increasing clouds, rain likely, some thunder, a low of 49. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Freedom or death, you shall all be moved. Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green with the key.
See, Telly, that's why.
Abracadabra, a la baby professor. All hail funky lesson. Sweet tongue grand vital scrolls. Now behold, let the legend unfold. Born in the cosmos.
And the green. See, they don't make music like that anymore. Remember that?
Could you imagine them making that type of music, like Public Enemy now? They would. I bet they would be on Capitol Hill. Like, look, let's ban them. And
but we could talk about degrading our women and F this and all that other stuff. But as soon as we talk about fighting the power, could you imagine?
No. They'll get you up out of here.
Can't make this up, y'all. And of course, during break, Telly had me over here in tears. Telly, I'm telling you, Ricky, can we just get one episode of just Telly's takes during the breaks?
Oh, no.
That's a great segment. Telly's takes during the breaks. I think I just dropped something. Can we do that, Ricky, just one day?
I don't think that
you don't think that's
appropriate? Is ready for y'all break comments.
Hey, look, like yesterday there was a call. They were like, Telly is as cool as a cucumber. I was like this. Can we do the really? Really? Can we break that out? Because, like, during the breaks, y'all don't see and hear. Telly is a plum fool. And then I got to come back to break. That Denise, man, she's so extra. But Telly, he's the cool one. I'm like, really?
Look, man. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Really? But
Oh, now you gonna hit it.
Yes, thank you, Ricky.
Perfect time.
Perfect timing. A friend of mine once said to me, Denise, do you know what people say about you when you're not in the room? I said, what's that? A lot of folks, not everybody, but a lot of folks probably say Denise does too much. He said, you know what you say to them? And I was like, nothing. He was like, no, you know what you say to them? You ain't doing enough. A lot of people a lot of people out there, when people tell you that you're extra and you're doing the most and you think you're all that, and you think you're this, it's probably because they're not doing anything, or they're not doing enough, or they do the bare minimum. So take it as a compliment and consider the source.
Very demure,
You
very
don't have
mindful.
You don't have to say probably because if you got enough time to just pay that much attention to what I'm doing, you clearly ain't doing nothing.
See, I was going to say something, but
it ain't probably.
Hey, I know this makes some folks mad when I say this, but I got to say it. We eating over here. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't inherit none. I'm not. My last name ain't Trump. Okay? I didn't inherit none of this.
So what is that dance you're doing though? Is that the?
Remember this?
That's the Cabbage Patch. Is that the Cabbage Patch?
Is this the Cabbage Patch? No, we can't ask Ricky.
Yeah, we can't ask Ricky.
You know, Ricky is like
me.
Right. He wasn't.
Never mind.
Right. He wasn't even thought of.
Is there a curtain we can just go ahead and just?
Yeah.
We're having a grown folk conversation right now, Ricky. Give us a moment. So was this the Cabbage Patch?
Is it
or
the Cabbage Patch or the Roger Rabbit or the Smurf or what? I don't.
So this one I thought was the Cabbage Patch.
That's the Cabbage
Churn the butter. I used to tell my friends who are white, they'd be like, what's that dance? I'd be like, so if I say Cabbage Patch, it's not going to resonate. So I just tell my white friends, just churn the butter.
Sure. Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, and I say, see, you got it. You got it, Kathy. Go ahead, churn the butter. They're like, I'm churning. I'm like, you got it.
Not the I'm churning.
I'm churning.
Yes, you are.
Ain't nothing moving because you ain't got nothing back there. That's why it ain't moving.
I don't talk about nobody's rear end area because, again, God did not bless me in that area. I don't know why. I've always asked God, why didn't I get? Oh yeah.
You see that?
Telly got the. Is it called the Don Julio? I thought it was the Carlton.
No, that's the Carlton. They say when Don Julio kicks in.
When that Don Julio kicks in, boy, them old school dances come back up.
Kill the roach. Slap the wall.
Yeah, turn the butter. You got to be explicit when you're giving people that didn't grow up in the 80s and 90s. You got to tell them how to do it. You can't give the name.
Cutting the rug.
Cutting the rug.
Hey, because there is only a couple of songs where they actually tell you what to do, like the cha-cha slide and all that.
Let me tell y'all, though, don't sleep on our fellow white brothers and sisters in Texas, y'all. Them line dances. Have y'all ever been to a country western bar or nightclub in Texas?
No, but I've seen.
What?
I've seen it.
Oh
on
my
video.
God! It is an experience. People,
they got rhythm.
What?
Yeah,
They'd be like
rhythm.
Remember when on Martin when they went to WZUP to the country music station?
Yes.
That is the energy. If you ever have a chance in Texas. Hey, a friend of mine shout out to my friend Jackson. He invited me, and I was like, all right, is this a setup? Like, don't have me go up in here. Because anytime I go somewhere, I'm like Tommy Davidson, and you hear the I don't stick around for the high. Right. I was like, so this is a setup. And he was like, no. And I go in. Now, mind you, I had to have the right attire. That's one thing I learned the hard way. So, Ricky and Telly, when I moved to Texas, I went to Dillard's. Y'all know Dillard's, the department store?
I never heard
of it, but I'm listening.
I went to Dillard's.
That was before Macy's. Yeah,
okay.
Dillard's.
Yes,
yeah.
and it's more. Their stores are located more in like the South. Okay. There's a couple. There used to be one in Chicago, but anywho, so I call myself going to Dillard's, and I'm like, howdy. Can I get me some cowgirl boots? Of course, the guy wants to make a sale, so he brings out these look, I'm doing the air quotes, the cowgirl boots. So I meet my friend Jackson at this country western bar nightclub place, and he looked at my feet like Miranda Priestley looked at what's her face's feet in the movie Devil Wears Prada, and he was like, "Is that what you're wearing?" And I was like, "These are cowgirl boots."
I know exactly what scene you talking.
You know what I'm talking about? So come to find out, in Texas, true, authentic cowgirl boots have to start price range minimum $250.
Yeah, I was minimum. Say, they're not cheap.
Minimum $250.
Damn.
And I paid like $45, $60 for mine.
Oh, you was way
so
off.
Disrespectful. So disrespectful.
Did you at least have the spurs in the back?
Right? Where were you? Now you want to tell me. Because, man, I walked into there, and he was like, okay, you know what? They're going to give you a pass because when they hear you talk, they're going to know you were a Yankee. You're a Northerner. Oh, yeah, in Texas, they will remind you. Oh, bless her little heart. She tried. She's one of them Yankees and one of them Northerners. Because, in Texas, there's the Trinity. There's three of the Trinity. God, football, and meat. Whether it's brisket, barbecue. You learn that very quickly when you move to Texas. All that. Don't be bringing none of that here. And I remember I moved in 2022, and I had on a COVID mask. What? I walked in. It was like, can we help you? I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm just trying to breathe.
They're like,
we
no.
are too.
They're like, we don't have COVID in Texas, okay? Don't come here. It's one thing we're letting y'all Northerners come here to begin with, but all that COVID, this is Texas, okay? And this is what they tell me. I promise you, this is my last Texas comment. But this is what they said. They said, okay, there's Canada. There's the 49 states, and then there's Texas. It's God, football, and brisket. Lesson learned. But yes, if you want to see some talented non-black folks, because everybody the stereotype that black people are the only ones that can dance, man, them Texans got rhythm. I wish I could. I'm trying to.
I'd have seen the videos online. They be stepping.
Felix,
you hear the spurs on their boots hitting the ground.
What? You think so? You know what we do at the Cupid shuffle and the electric slide? It ain't got nothing on them.
And then they be clapping with
what?
it.
And they do and they back it up too.
Yeah, they got rhythm.
And don't get them to do this part, and kick the leg up. And you just, I was like, oh, these Texans ain't playing. I'm trying to think of the song that they. Don't play Footloose. And when those Texans, it's over. You hear what I'm saying, Telly?
Mm-hmm.
Doom, 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 doom. I've been working. Oh, you see people jumping out of their chairs.
Oh, that's the white version of back that thing up.
What? Can you Google Kenny Loggins' Footloose? Because I know all of my white fellow brothers and sisters that have any family members in Texas. If you go to okay, what's our theme music, Telly? This is how we do it?
Yeah, that is kind of universal.
If you play This Is How We Do It or Back That Thing Up, for the most part, everybody's going to the dance floor. If you go to Southside Milwaukee, where are my brown brothers and sisters? You play Suavemente, it's over. You go to Texas and put that Kenny Loggins Footloose. I've been working so hard. Kenny Loggins even got to the third verse, or third line. Telly over here cracking up. Them folks. And I'm just over here looking, and I'm trying to keep up. I was like, I have never in my life thought I would have to, like, literally keep up dancing with. But I learned. Look, I'm sweating. Jackson's like, did you have a good time? I was like, well, apparently I need to get some boots. People gave me the look so frilly till they were like, she's not from around here. She got them Dillard's boots on. She missed the memo.
So basically, if you can't like really relate to what DT is saying, that's like going to a Versace party and you got on Fosachi.
Man.
And you like, hey, this gonna be straight. But like, no, that ain't what we doing here.
It was so disrespectful for me to walk into a country western nightclub with Dillard's cowboy boots on. And then I go back to the Dillards to try to return them.
We like, them know them been worn. You limping in here, we know your feet hurt. We know you had them all.
We got that Footloose ready. Cause I mean,
let me get you, hold on.
Cause I'm trying to imitate. Cause you gotta Telly, you gotta have your look. You gotta have your hands right here. And then you got to be able to do that kick up. And then you got to be able to take it in reverse. Y'all go to YouTube because I'm trying to break it down for y'all.
Yeah.
All my fellow white listeners,
the
please.
only part I have right is having my pants up. But after that,
And let me tell you, they're so patient because I'm like the only black person in the club. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
No, we got you. You know, black people, we ain't that friendly.
Yeah.
Either you can't do the electric slide if you don't take your. Dude, look, like, we don't play. There is no timeout. There's no practice.
Now, see, I think they were like trying to get me. Like, yeah, they want to get me out here to laugh at me because we know we always laugh at them when we see them at our clubs. Like,
bless your little Kamala Harris supporting self. Come on in here, girl. We'll teach you. All right, here we go, DJ Ricky.
DT, you ready?
I'm ready. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all what they taught me.
Telly, are your reactions ready?
I usually can't predict them, Ricky. As much as I'd like to,
I'm going to try to do my best line dance that I learned when I first moved to Dallas, Texas, because I embrace the culture that I live in. So again, if you are considering or you have family or friends that live in Texas and you're considering visiting anytime soon, because it's about to get cold here in Wisconsin, please make sure that you are ready for this. They give you the warm up. Now, by now, 20,000 people are already going to the dance floor.
Like,
that's my jam!
Like, this was released 38 years ago.
You better play my song!
Not you grabbing a belt buckle that ain't there.
You gotta grab the belt buckle. I don't even have one on.
That's not there.
Over. Oh, tell me what to drive. I've got this feeling. Look at Telly. You gotta laugh.
Because I could just see they in there sweating it in.
I could just picture DT just chilling, her people just chilling. This come on, and up there they go.
Look at all the.
Me, I'll be like, this don't. Oh, I'm used to it.
No, what they'll be telling you is, DJ, why did it take you so long to play our song?
We've been asking for Footloose for 8 hours.
You think I came here to hear Sheezy?
Your president may be black, but I'm over here Footloose and I'm fancy free. You know all the people that just tuned into this station, they're like, wait a minute, what's going on?
What happened?
Did they get bought out?
WZUP guy took over. Like, it's the same episode in Martin, man. Did they take over?
Not WZUP.
What? You know, so many black people are confused right now. They're like, wait a minute, I turned to 101.7.
Y'all
they playing Footloose. You got to keep laughing from crying, y'all. I'm out of breath. Ahmad said, nah, the prep is in the 80s dance. All right, y'all, we had to have that funny moment because, again, you got to laugh sometimes to just keep from crying. When we come back, we're going to get you our truth of the matter. Ricky, go ahead and take us out with that Footloose before we come back with our truth of the matter so we can scare more black people. We can make more black people nervous on our show today. They done lost their mind.
You listening to Marty Marr?
That is funny. That is funny.
Coming with straight truth.
There's some issues when school boards use tactics that the law gives them by going into executive session to let people off the hook, like Keith Posley, who did not do his job. His number 2 didn't do their job. And number 3 and number 4 and all the area superintendents and the principals didn't do their job. But here we are, once again, MPS wants a count so they can get money.
Listen to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
My name is Anton Moore. Around here, we have hardworking people that just need a break. Whether it's investing in small businesses or making housing affordable, Vice President Harris gets it.
Kamala Harris is making sure black men have the tools to build generational wealth. She'll put a policy in place that gives 1 million forgivable loans to help entrepreneurs, including black entrepreneurs, start their own businesses. She also plans to give $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time homeowners and crack down on racial bias in home appraisals. Harris's plan will help black men own more assets so we can build long-term wealth.
This is what an investment in my community looks like. We're trying to build generational wealth. No get-rich-quick schemes, no scams, no one-time check, none of that. Vice President Harris got our back. I'll be there on November 5th. Will you be there?
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Make Milwaukee work for you. OneMKE provides easy-to-use information on local, state, and federal programs that can save you money and improve your well-being. Discover events you can attend to get involved in your community and find nonpartisan resources to help you make your voting plan for the upcoming election. 1MKE envisions a future where every Milwaukee resident understands how being civically engaged can help us create a healthier, stronger city. Because together, we are One Milwaukee. Learn more at 1mke.org.
In our community, you will find a Center for Food Security. You'll discover a Center for Behavioral Health Support, a proven Center for Home Care, a successful Center for Employment, a Center for Trauma Recovery, and more. We are Centers for Independence. Find out how you can support Centers for Independence's work and mission at cfihope.org/independence.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Why not? Yeah! You are listening. What'd you say, Telly? This is W.
And by the way, Truth Nation, this is not an indictment on my black card. I did not request Footloose. So,
Telly!
He got you, DC.
But you didn't say stop playing it.
I didn't say stop playing it. I remember Footloose.
You know what I love about
everybody knows Footloose.
You know what I love about black people? Because on our YouTube message board and on our True Talking text line, people are like, hey, this is my jam.
Yeah.
Footloose was the jam, okay? Look.
I am going to look this up. When did this come out?
Oh, Footloose, I'm going to guess 1984.
Dead on.
That's what I thought.
That's when the film came out.
I thought it was 19. Boo. That was a classic.
1980.
Yeah, and then here come the young people. Kyle Wallace, our director of content. He's like, Little Boosie has a country song. We immediately kicked Kyle out of the studio. When grown
so
folks,
does Nelly. So does.
When grown folks are having a country music conversation, we talking about people like Charlie Pride.
But yeah.
We invented country music. Don't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you go to Texas and you want to see some really good, entertaining live performances, pick a night where they're line dancing, and they play this. Look.
Yeah.
This is when they go ham right here. This is the part. Sweats everywhere.
Flinging their hair.
What'd you say? What's that? Telly, do the sound.
It's not even Friday. Like, it's not.
I'm done with y'all this morning. I ain't here for y'all entertainment purposes no more, man.
It's not even Friday.
I gotta go to YouTube. Wait a minute, Telly. To the hair. It's like when Mike Epps was like, Mom, get out of my room. I'm building up.
Yeah. Woo! Love it when they break it down. I love that part.
That's my jam. Okay, I can't breathe, y'all. I'm so sorry. Telly, you do this. They're like, the callers are like, oh my God, Telly's so cool. Y'all don't understand what this brother does to me during breaks. Felix said, what's going on up in here? What?
From DMX to Footloose, you can get it all here on Truth Be Told.
Because at the end of the day, y'all, we are here to make you laugh as well. Because I know talking politics every day, it can be exhausting.
Yes. November 5th can't come fast enough. Let's be real.
What you talking about? I'm scared for November the 6th. I'm on my knees every night. Dear Lord. But yeah, so we're going to make y'all laugh as much as we can. Stay locked in. Because I guarantee you that Sherwin Hughes is not going to play Footloose. He's the educated one. He's the one that's going to give you all the information you need about this election. And then you have me and Telly, who just obviously lost our minds this morning. But we got to keep y'all laughing. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We are one day away from Friday. We're going to have a fun, entertaining show for y'all tomorrow because you know it is politic-free Friday with a disclaimer.
Yeah, hopefully they don't say nothing crazy.
There ain't no breaking news between now and tomorrow morning. All right, y'all, make it a great day. We love you. Tell somebody you love them, and Lord willing, we will hear and see y'all tomorrow.
Peace out.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less.